And I have been saying that it's going to happen, a lockup of the financial system, a collapse of the debt market here, a meltdown or a breakdown is how it's being worded by Bank of America here. A headline this dramatic from a major Wall Street institution, that should say something.
Hi, I'm Kaiser Johnson with Liberty and Finance, and this is the Miles Franklin Weekly Special for October 18th through October 25th, 2022. This week we feature 2023 Britannia in silver and in gold. Though the UK's Royal Mint has finalized a portrait of King Charles III and has started minting commemorative coinage with his image, the Mint made the unexpected choice to issue this first run of 2023 Britannia, still bearing the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. The silver Britannia comes in tubes of 25 and mint fresh monster boxes of 500 coins, and is available at only $7.50 over spot. The gold Britannia is $85 over spot while this shipment lasts. And on that, both last week and the week before, we sold out of our 1-ounce specials by the Friday of their respective weeks. So if you'd like to ensure that you secure 2023 Britannia at this special rate, please don't delay. Our number for all orders is 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 1-888-815-4237. We're available after hours and on weekends, and we look forward to speaking with you.
Welcome back to Liberty and Finance. We're delighted to have this returning guest for a flash update of a story that we didn't know was going to break today, but it did. Gregory Mannarino is the host of TradersChoice.net. He joins us this Thursday, October 20th. Greg, thanks for coming back on.
Thanks for having me on. It's really, it's starting to move. Things are starting to happen, and I think we need to pay attention big time, so I'm glad to be here.
It's like when you are waiting on one of those cruise ships or waiting for an iceberg to crack off or something, and you start to hear the crack, 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 boom, boom, boom. You think something big's about to happen. It really does feel that way. We've never done this before. This is a spontaneous intraday interview based on a breaking news story that just came out today. And I'm going to let you, I won't want to steal your thunder, but it has to do with something you've been warning us about for some time relating to the debt market.
There you go.
Fragile. Treasury market is at risk of large-scale forced selling or surprise that leads to breakdown, BoA says. The thing that got my attention about that, besides the fact that it sounds like, the end of the financial world is at hand, is that in general, the powers that be make sure that people that are high up on the food chain get a chance to get out of the place before they sound the alarm. When words this severe start being broadcast to the public, you think you must be pretty near something imminent. Can you tell us what you're aware of around this, or why this is in line with what you've been concerned about for some time?
Exactly. Look, this is a monumental issue. There's nothing greater right now. There's no bigger threat right now to the world, not just the financial system. This is an issue here that has the potential to unfold in a very ugly way. And I have been saying that it's going to happen, a lockup of the financial system, a collapse of the debt market here, a meltdown or a breakdown is how it's being worded by Bank of America here. This can potentially lead to, and I mean this, it's in your face, a global issue with regard to resources. Forget about any other immediate threat to the human race. I mean, this is it. If the global financial system actually collapses on itself, and we're hearing a lot of warnings lately, it's not just me or you got, even Janet Yellen said there's a problem here after weeks of saying everything was fine. You got the IMF, you got the World Bank, you got institutions like Goldman Sachs. You have multi-billionaire investors all saying the same thing right now. And you're right. It's kind of interesting. There's no coincidence here that, the Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, the MMRI, we are right now just a shade under 300, where it's extreme risk. When I first put that out, it was like 80. Or something like that. It was really, really low. It was in the green. Everything was looking great. And now, there's this direct correlation here. People need to pay attention to this. A systemic meltdown of the financial system is the greatest threat to humankind, bar none, period, the end. And I don't think people understand how great this is. It's not just a financial problem. I want people to understand that, yes, a meltdown of the debt market will crush the global equity markets beyond anyone's wildest dreams. We're talking about a stock market crash way worse than anything that has ever been witnessed before in history. And it's just nothing is going to come close. But then is going to come the fallout here, that lockup of the financial system, inability to transact. Debit cards don't work. Credit cards don't work. No cash out of the banks. I mean, this is profound. Yes, of course, they're going to try to keep something like this hidden from people as much as they possibly can. But the fact of the matter is, it's getting attention. And I don't know how many people are waking up to this, but a headline this dramatic from a major Wall Street institution, that should say something.
The other thing, as you mentioned, that plays out after the initial impacts that people feel immediately in their ability to transact in their daily lives is, and we've been reminded this by Bill Holt and others, that everything that moves, everything that happens in our lives involves credit. Whether it's trucks moving down the highway or people or companies being able to get parts or companies being able to move energy or get supplies or deliver anything.
Interbusiness lending, banks, it stops. What people don't realize is this is what was starting to break during the last meltdown. This is the reason why the Fed jumped in here with those capital injections, those massive capital injections to try to free up the credit market. That's what it really was. And they should have stopped at that point. Once, you see, look, this whole thing became way out of hand. After the Federal Reserve got in there and freed up the credit markets and things started to function, they should have stopped. They should have allowed the market to normalize instead of propping it up with QE1, QE2, Operation Twist, continuing to buy debt with central banks all doing the same thing. They should have stopped, but they didn't. They said, hey, let's now manage the entire financial system. What they managed to do is reinflate a massive bubble in the stock market, a massive bubble in real estate, and create distortions that are beyond the scope, I think, even someone like myself who studies the markets around the clock. That's really what I do. It's just so extreme what we're seeing right now. All this is going to get very real. And all of this is 100% dependent on action in the debt market. That's it. And now we're getting warning after warning after warning in a major Wall Street institution with a headline like that. If that doesn't wake people up, nothing will.
People who've been taking preventative actions to try to protect themselves and be prepared for some time with food, water, make sure that they're going to have heat and light, that sort of thing in tough times, have been doing the right thing. These are things we all try to imagine. What can I do in my small little part of the world to prepare for this? Because you're right, the scope and scale of things of this magnitude that could sweep away so much of the functioning of our societies that we come to take for granted can have dramatic and terrifying impacts on people's lives on a massive scale. You've talked about this for some time, that the population itself, our food supply, all kinds of assumptions we have are built on top of the back of this debt bubble.
It's a house of cards built on top of a pile of gasoline. It's going to go off. Now, look, there's no accident why this is happening. In my view, and I've been saying this for a very, very long time, we've talked about it right on your show, this is deliberate. Central banks are going to destroy the current system via a meltdown in the debt market, okay, globally, to introduce a new system. That's it, because the new system is dying. It's it's in our face. You got skyrocketing inflation, no end in sight, inconsequential action by central banks who have been raising rates, for many months now. It's not done a damn thing. And you and I realize it's not even meant to work. All it's supposed to do, or the theory is, it's supposed to kill demand. Okay. And by killing demand or slowing down the economy, it's supposed to slow down inflation. No, it doesn't work like that, especially in this environment. And this environment is unlike anything we've ever seen before. If in fact central banks wanted to do something, they could do it. They got just tell the banks to increase their capital reserve requirements, contract the money supply, and we would get an immediate effect with regard to inflation. We could slow it down, but no one's talking about it. You don't hear people in the mainstream. The central banks is way out of their wheelhouse because their goal is to continue to inflate the money supply. So they have no intention of stopping this. It's a terrible thing, but this is all 100% real and 100% deliberate.
practical steps that the ordinary person can and should take at this time. We don't know if something's going to happen today, tomorrow, this next week, this next month, whatever. But when you get warnings of this magnitude and at this public, it's fair to say you probably shouldn't bet against that something big and bad is going to happen soon. So we've talked with people, and you've talked with people about getting access to cash, getting access to some bullion, so gold or silver to have some emergency assets on hand, getting real things like food and water, things that you really need, making sure you know your neighbors, you have a plan, communication plan with your family. Any other thoughts that occur to you about reasonable actions that people should consider taking at times of extreme uncertainty? Or you said we're on the verge of extreme on your Mannarino market risk indicator.
Yeah, I mean, we're on the edge of that. And, look, that 300 is not a line in the sand. It doesn't mean it all ends at 300. This means that risk has reached an extreme level, and it can go much, much higher. And I think we have, look, the clues are everywhere. The global debt market sell-off is not abating in any way, shape, or form. It's getting progressively worse. If central banks don't take action, like immediate action to stabilize the debt market, what Bank of America is saying, forget about what I'm saying, is going to happen. And that's going to change everything. Now, we can focus on a few other things here so we can better pinpoint this. I believe we can see 20, 30, 40 basis point jumps higher in the 10-year yield on a daily basis in succession. If we see that, the pressure on the stock market would be very, very high. So we know that that's the moment where this is coming down. I mean, right now, it looks like we're on the cusp of this. In fact, I think this was the title of a video I did just a few days ago. And now we get this headline from Bank of America here. But, it's not just Bank of America. We've been hearing this now, and it's even getting airplay on the mainstream. Now, what should people be doing aside from everything that, prepare yourselves, always have the high ground mentally, physically, spiritually. Form alliances now with people in your neighborhood. I've been telling people this for years. Love each other, care about each other, be charitable. It's so important. You got to get together with people in your community because we're going to need each other. In a worst case scenario, and it looks like to me that this is unfolding, Bank of America is backing you and I up on this. And again, it's not just them here, but people need to have the high ground, have non-perishables around, people you can depend on. Because look, if this breaks loose, most people are going to be caught completely by surprise. Again, you turn on the mainstream propaganda, it's all distractions and deception and this new variant that just came out, how deadly it is and whatever. It's all that. Look over there. Don't focus on this monumental problem here. The divide and conquer, it's in full swing right now, especially with these elections right around the corner. But this is what they do. All of this while this other stuff is going on in the background. So just be ready for it, and there's nothing wrong with being prepared. If it doesn't happen, great, but it looks like it is. To me, my last several videos, I've been kind of alarmist in a way, I think, but maybe that's the wrong word. I've been really pushing it home that people need to be ready for something to occur here. And maybe it's going to be another false flag. They're going to need to blame this on something, okay? Because it can't be, that central banks have, they're deliberately pushing us down this road. No, they're going to have something else occur so they can blame it. So that worries me a little bit. We just did an interview with Jared Salente where he came up with a pretty interesting possibility, which was, a Russian cyber attack. They've taken all your money out of the banks. Something along those lines. I forgot exactly what he said, but I was like, whoa. I was like, that could actually be it. So we don't know. But just be ready. Always have the high ground. And, like I said, get together with like-minded people, form alliances, make friends. You see somebody in your street, walk around and say hello to that person. You might need that person more than you know. Relatively soon if this thing really starts to get rolling.
A lot of people have been concerned about the timing. Typically, when things have gone south in a very bad way, October is a prime month for that to happen. And this one happens to be right before midterm elections, which, as you mentioned, has been very contested and divisive. So it may be, for many reasons, not just these financial reasons, prime for something very disruptive.
Generally what it is, these kinds of things come out of left field generally. Like it's something that most people, it's very hard to say it's going to be this or it's going to be that. And it's usually something that comes out of left field when big thing like that. Or sometimes it's something that's literally completely and absolutely unexpected. So I don't know what that would be. Maybe I really couldn't tell you. But look, the situation is dire, and I think people need to start paying attention more so than they ever have before. Pay attention to what's going on.
Well, we're grateful for you taking time out of your day. We completely didn't have this planned at all. Usually we schedule these things weeks or even months in advance. And you were gracious enough to grant us your time right now because of this event, this news that came out, this warning, and we want people to be aware and prepared. So really grateful for you taking time to explain the context of it to us so that people can continue to pay attention. Folks, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to Gregory's free newsletter at traderschoice.net, and he'll keep you in touch with what's going on an hour-by-hour and day-by-day basis. Also, make sure you don't miss the chance to sign up for our free newsletter, which is a once-a-day announcement of our latest interviews and specials here at libertyandfinance.com. That's libertyandfinance.com to get onto our newsletter, traderschoice.net to get on Greg's free newsletter. Greg Mannarino, founder of traderschoice.net, just really grateful for you jumping on here with us on Liberty and Finance.
I am more than happy to be here. It's important.
Miles Franklin Precious Metals is one of America's oldest and most trusted bullion dealers. Miles Franklin is A+ rated and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, licensed and bonded, and has 0 complaints ever registered. Here at Liberty and Finance, we are licensed brokers with Miles Franklin. To order, simply call us, discuss your needs, and we will let you know our live inventory, prices, and availability, and lock in your order over the phone. Once your order is locked, the price is held for you regardless of market fluctuations, and the metals are reserved for you awaiting your settled payment. Within 1 business day of ordering, you will receive an email invoice detailing the order and payment instructions. Miles Franklin accepts payments by bank wire, ACH or electronic check, money order, check mailed priority mail, and cryptocurrency. The fastest forms of payment are bank wire and cryptocurrency. Upon settled payment, metals will ship out within 3 to 5 business days. You will receive tracking information via email. Domestic shipping charges are $15 for any order under 500 ounces of silver or 10 ounces of gold. For orders larger than that, domestic shipping is free. The package will be double boxed, fully insured, and labeled discreetly, with no indication of the contents inside. For your privacy, the name Miles Franklin will not even be on the package. To talk to myself, Elijah, my brother Kaiser, or my father Dunnigan, call 1-888-81-LIBERTY. That's 1-888-815-4237.